Anything is possible. It started with a dream. Our passion made a difference and built a family. We've grown strong.
Hello, you're with Libby from LibbyStamps.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Australia, and today I just thought I'd share with you another one of those how do I do that techniques, and this is the chalkboard technique. I've used Beautiful Moments and I've used the stitched rectangle dies just to give a bit of interest around the edges. So I'll bring that up closer and hopefully you can see the effect. I've done this on Petal Pink and I've stamped the inside of the card and the envelope. Alright, so we'll get started. Now I chose to put my stamps on my Stamparatus because sometimes you don't always get a good crisp image with your ink. So you can see I've already used mine and I didn't clean it off because I knew I was going to do it again. Alright, so I've got a stitched rectangle die cut here out of basic black cardstock. Now you need to use basic black in order to get the effect, and I've used the third largest. Right, so if you look at the largest die, come down two more. All right, so I'm just going to anchor that on my Stamparatus, and you can see I've already got my images loaded, and on the Stamparatus you can make sure they're straight, and that's good when you're doing cling mount stamps that you can't see through. And then I'm using the Whisper White craft pad, ink pad. Now you need to let this dry once you've stamped it, and with your Stamparatus, just another tip, put a stamp case or something underneath the clear plate like this, just so that it's all on one level when you ink up. All right, give your stamp a good inking until you're happy. All right, and then you just stamp down. Give it a bit of CPR, that's what I call it, by giving it a rub firmly with your fingers to ensure that the ink adheres to the cardstock. All right, now that's still a bit pale for my liking, so I'm going to ink it up again. And this is another advantage of using the Stamparatus. You can re-ink until you're happy with the image that you get. And I like to think I can get a crisp image. All right, once more. There we are, and it's in exactly the right place. Now, just a tip when you're cleaning your white craft ink off, it's going to take quite a bit of cleaning. So I clean mine off with a wet wipe first, and then I use my stamp and scrub. Now, here comes the next bit. You need to dry this. Now, I do it with my heat tool, so I'll be back in a minute when I've dried it off with my heat tool. All right, now I've dried it off. So then you bring in your craft ink again, and this time with a sponge, and you need a bit of scrap paper. So ink your sponge up quite well, and then dab off any excess onto the side, and you're just going to rub across lightly just to give that rubbed out chalkboard effect. And I go side to side, and I seem to be able to get quite a nice effect. Each time dab it off onto the scrap paper first so that you're not putting a whole lot of ink over your image or your cardstock, and you just do that until you're happy. And that's the chalkboard effect. So it's quite easy, as you can see, and I've used Beautiful Moments for my card. Now, this previous one I put up on Petal Pink. This one I'm doing on Rococo Rose, and I've already stamped the inside in the envelope. So it's just a matter of putting our panel on, our chalkboard panel on. You could use a decorative die if you wanted to. There's a nice one in the Ornate Layers dies that might work. Alright, now I've already tied my bow, and I'm using the white linen ribbon out of the Flowers for Every Season ribbon combo pack. You get Just Jade, gingham, you get Misty Moonlight in Baker's Twine, and the Whisper White is a linen. So that's the Flowers for Every Season ribbon combo pack. I really love this linen. It's just beautiful to use. And I'm just going to get a glue dot. Always take your ribbon to your glue dots so you don't get your fingers on them, and take away any of the stickies. So I'm just going to put that there. And then with my Take Your Pick tool, I'm just going to use the end here to put a couple more glue dots. And I've tied a multi-loop bow, and the extra glue dots just help anchor the bow in place. So just fiddle with the loops until you're happy with them. And there we have our chalkboard effect using Beautiful Moment, the Stampin' Up Whisper White craft ink, which is a pigment ink, so it's wet and it does need drying. We've used Beautiful Moments, the stitched rectangle dies, and on this card we've used Petal Pink and the Petal Pink ribbon, and this one's Rococo Rose. Alright, that's it for this week. Thanks so much for stopping by. Hope to see you again next week. Bye for now.